Hello, hello. Welcome back. Wonderful technologist. Welcome back to the podcast. So, hope you guys are having an amazing week. So, lots of exciting things this week. So, if you haven't heard the previous podcast episodes, I'm going to tell you that I am hosting a live event this week. It is on Wednesday, February 19th and Thursday, February 20th. So it's a 2-day live event. I'm going to be teaching you about patient centering, how to make sure you execute it properly, and why. So, good stuff, because these are the things that I preach on this podcast and on, my protocol videos when it comes to my TikToks. So make sure you follow me on TikTok because I do all the good protocol videos on there. It's good shit. Okay. So that is the live event. So I am going to be hosting that on February 19th and the 20th. So it's going to be at 12 p.m. CST. Okay. So that's 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Because of my kids' school schedule. Okay. So make sure you guys get in, sign up for the live event. It's going to be a private YouTube live link. So the only way that you will get access to it is if you sign up for the event. Okay. And you will have access to the replays, and you will get an opportunity to join my 6-month coaching program because I will offer a bonus on the last day of the event. Okay. But in order to find out what that is, you got to come and join the live event. So everything is in the show notes. So make sure you check that out. Sign up for the live event. Get your asses in there. Okay. I expect to see you in there. So also, if you're interested in coaching and mentorship, I do have a 6-month program. I'm taking 10 students at this time. And then this is the first round. So if you don't get in on the action, the first round, you're going to have to wait until the second round. Okay. So make sure you check that out. It's 6 months with me. You get Slack coaching. You get live trainings every single week. You get an entire course portal where you can do some trainings, a bunch of trainings on demand, actually. Okay. I will be doing weekly voice notes and video tutorials and things like that in my coaching program. So I take you as a brand new CT technologist and make you the go-to CT tech, get your registry ready, and all the things so that you are ready to scan no matter where you work. So get your ass in there. Come sign up for my coaching program. I also have a 90-day program for technologists that are more experienced and that are looking to have interest in traveling. So I go through 90 days on what you need to do, what you need to know, how to negotiate contracts, pay, and know everything you need to know as far as the basics. So you can just sit at the scanner and scan when you show up for your assignment. So everything is in the show notes, so go check that stuff out. Also, follow me on TikTok and follow me on Instagram because I post all good CT protocols and everything that you need to know to kind of keep you as the go-to CT tech and give you a lot of educational information. Okay. So in today's episode, what we're going to talk about, which I've heard so many times, and I know I've talked to several coworkers about this, is how to avoid burnout in your first year as a CT technologist. Okay. I remember vividly 20 plus years ago when I started out my first year in CT, it was so overwhelming because there's a lot of things you need to know. And the burnout can be really fast and fierce. Okay. And I can tell you why. The high demand of ordering of CT exams has increased so much. Okay. I think statistically, if I was reading, I think by like 200 to 300%. Okay. Just that's over the course of the last 10 years. So with technology and, a sicker population and, population and patients getting older and needing more care. So because technology has just expanded all this stuff and doctors are able to diagnose patients faster, the demand of CT exams has just gone through the roof and even more. And it's just going to get higher and higher. Okay. So, and then on top of that, with the pandemic, it has just increased our volume and our workload, and our workflows have changed. Okay. So in this episode, I'm going to give you a few tips that I adopted when I was a first year CT technologist, in my first year, so that I avoided the burnout and enjoyed the job. Well, I mean, I've been on the job for 22 years, so I'm still currently doing it. So, the first tip that I'm going to give you is I always encourage techs to make sure they continue to build their skills in CT and continue learning and getting in on that continuing education. I can't tell you how important that is because things are changing in the technology space when we have AI, coming in and helping with all different types of things. It's being integrated. I know we've integrated an AI program when we do perfusions. So things are kind of changing and changing the way we do our workflow to make it easier for us to kind of take some of the burden off. Okay. So always continuing to learn and educate yourself and build your skills is top tier. You have to do that. Okay. Second thing is that make sure you do more quality versus quantity. Okay. This is going to improve your efficiency and your workflow. So it's not about quantity, like how many patients we're pumping in and out, and going through the department. It's the quality of your exams. Now, it's always good to keep a good pace. Now, every technologist is going to have their own pace. So what I would recommend is you stick to the pace that's comfortable for you. Okay. Don't worry about, Speedy Gonzalez technologist that is pumping in, and can scan, let's say, for example, 15 patients in 30 minutes. We're not saying that. Okay. What I'm saying is you want to prioritize quality over quantity. Like you want good diagnostic exams, not how many patients you're doing, in the next hour. That's not what we do because you're going to burn out really fast that way. But you keep your own pace, you maintain it, that you get quality exams and you're executing the job correctly. Okay. The third and final tip that I'm going to give you, okay, is make sure that you set boundaries. Now, what I mean by setting boundaries is I know that there are staffing shortages. There are technologists who call off, that are sick, that are on vacation, PTO, some are on short term disability, whatever the case is that's going on in your department. Now, it's important to make sure that you take your breaks, take lunch, and take your PTO days. I mean, that's why you save them, right? So the number one thing that I always recommend is make sure you take the proper amount of time to prioritize yourself. Now, I know there's texts that say, hey, I got to work overtime. I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm always encouraging that because the more that you learn on the job, the better it is. Okay. But also be mindful of how many hours you're picking up every single week. Okay. And how much work you're putting in. And are you really prioritizing your self care and your rest and making sure that you take care of yourself? So I always tell technologists set boundaries and healthy ones. Okay. If they're asking to pick up a shift, you can pick up like 2-3 shifts, whatever it is the case is. Nobody's telling you not to. But I've seen techs that work, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. This is a week, okay? And they're picking up all this crazy overtime. They're doing that and they're completely burnt out. You do not want to burn out in your first year, and there's call and this and that. Like be mindful of your time, okay? Do a good job, show up to work, do that. You can pick up, a couple extra shifts, whatever, a couple extra call shifts, whatever it is. But have healthy boundaries. And you know what? Practice saying no. I know some of you are going to get like, "Oh my god, why are you saying that?" Because when you say no, you're enforcing those healthy boundaries, okay? So don't kill yourself working 100 plus hours a week, just because, oh, I'm going to make all this money, because then you're not going to be able to enjoy the time. CT is a very stressful department because there's so many patients that come in and out. So prioritizing your time, making sure that you take care of yourself and setting healthy boundaries and saying no are good things and good things to practice. Okay. I can't tell you how many shifts get, posted, as far as, oh, these are all the open shifts every time our 6-week schedule comes out. And guess what? I'm very mindful of my time. and saying, I'm a mom, I have kids, and I have other responsibilities outside of this job. So I can't be picking up a bunch of extra shifts. Yeah, every once in a while, I might pick up one or two. However, I'm mindful of my time because there are things outside of work that are important. Okay. We want to live to work, not work to live. So make sure you adopt that type of mindset because then you'll live more of a healthy balance when it comes to work and your life. Okay. So that is everything I have for this episode. Okay. I love to make my episodes very short, very bite sized so that you get all the information in a short amount of time. Okay. So those are my tips as far as how to avoid burnout when it comes to your first year of being a CT tech. And you know what? There's other things that you can adopt too, as far as making sure that you prioritize you and that you continue learning and keep a good pace when it comes to executing your exams. Okay. So, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this episode and joining me on this episode. Make sure you guys sign up for the live event. So, live event is February 19th and 20th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. It'll be a private YouTube live link. So, make sure you sign up for that. Everything will be in the show notes. Come join my coaching program. I'm only taking 10 students. So, once all those spots fill up, you're going to have to wait till the next round. Okay. Also, follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Join my email list. I have a free checklist for CT technologists. Make sure you get on my email list because I also provide all the stuff that I release every single week as far as podcast episodes, YouTube uh, videos, and things like that. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel because you will see more long form educational content on there, and I will have some good stuff. Okay. So, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me on this podcast episode. Make sure you share this with somebody that needs to hear it. Share it with another technologist. Share it with your department. Okay. So, thank you so much for joining me on this episode, and I will catch you guys on the next episode.